The following presentation is brought to you by the Realm Network.
This is Vince Russo's The Brand.
Hello, what's going on everybody? My name is Brandon Stransky here, and this is the first edition of AlternaTV exclusively on Vince Russo's The Brand. And before I get started, I'd like to take this time to thank Vince and Jeff for giving me this opportunity to be able to use their platform to do this show. I hope I do the best job I can and won't let them down. And again, I thank you guys, and I'll do the best I can for you. Just a little bit about myself. For those of you who haven't seen any other stuff I've done for the brand, I started writing for the website about 1.5 years ago, roughly-ish. And this is the first video I've done for them, and hopefully we can keep cranking these out, and this one does well. I am also an independent professional wrestler. I have been in the business for about 10.5 years. I had my first match in 2010. I've wrestled in 13 different states, wrestled in 2 different countries, and just had a blast doing it. Had a lot of great experiences, had a great time doing it. I'm also a born-again Christian. A lot of the thanks for that actually goes to Vince. After I read his book, or his first book at least, and that just kind of got me down that path before I finally became saved. And again, I'd like to thank Vince personally for that, for helping me on that path. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get this show started. If you've read some of the stuff that I've put on the website, you've seen that I'm a big fan of this TV show called Trailer Park Boys, which is a mockumentary series based in Canada, or more specifically the province of Nova Scotia, about there's three adult men who live in the trailer park and try to basically make money through various crimes, various schemes, and just try to get by day to day. And they recently released their 11th season, which I'm gonna go ahead and say right now is full of spoilers. Well, this section of the show is going to be full of spoilers of not just this season, but stuff that's happened in seasons past. So if you are not wanting to be spoiled on that, I would recommend fast forwarding through at least until we get past that part of the show. I did one column on the first episode, but I wanted to do more of an overall view of the season via video. I thought it was the best season that they've done since the departure of Mike Clattenburg, who was the creator and original director of the series, as well as one of the main writers. Of course, those duties have now fallen to the 3 boys who now own the franchise, with, of course, JP, Rob, and Mike, who play Julian, Ricky, and Bubbles, respectively. But yeah, this season was it felt like a return to form for them. Back to, they sold it as back to basics, and that's exactly what it was. Doing what they do best, growing weed and evading the cops, and getting all kinds of crazy adventures while doing it. The main overarching storyline, or the serial story with this season, was the boys having to grow enough weed to make a bunch of 5-hour D-Energy for their friend Snoop Dogg, who they became friends with in the previous season. And the 5-hour D-Energy is basically like a weed version of 5-hour Energy that Ricky had invented last season. Snoop Dogg fell in love with, and he ordered 30,000 bottles of it. So, which leads to the boys having to grow a bunch of weed. Originally, they were making pizza sauce until they found Julian again after he had left at the end of the 10th season and brought him back into the fold, and he was the one who got them into making the weed for Snoop. But overall, the season really did feel like it was a true return to form for them. They, in fact, even felt self-referencing to itself. Like, there was one episode where Julian paid off the bottle kids to bust up Lady's head until he bled, and he tried bribing them with a bag of chips like they used to do in the old seasons. And and the kids blew him off. They said, we don't do that crap anymore. That's for kids. We want a pint of liquor. Okay, cool. So Julian hooked him up with a pint of liquor to do the thing. And man, I just felt so bad for Leahy this season, man. Because if you read the last column I did on Trailer Park Boys, I was brought up that Leahy revealed to Ricky, or to not really to Ricky, but to the Trailer Park Boys audience, that he is Ricky's actual father. He had kept it a secret. The only people who knew were him, Barb, Ray, and Ricky's mom, Tammy. And they all kept it a secret for reasons that weren't never really explained. But yeah, and then that storyline ends up playing itself out in probably one of the most hilarious scenes in the series' history, when it comes time for Leahy to finally reveal it to Ricky, and they reenact the lightsaber duel from Empire Strikes Back, even to the point where Leahy ends up breaking Ricky's wrist by mistake. And they're having a fight with the clearing stick and a broom handle, which is absolutely hilarious. But then the part that makes you really feel bad about Leahy is that Julian doesn't buy it. He thinks that Leahy's trying to pull one over on Ricky. So he goes and gets his blood, which is the reason for the bottle kids. And they end up going to find out that Leahy is not, in fact, Ricky's dad. It was, I mean, they never explicitly state it, but the only explanation could be was that he did have an affair with Ricky's mom, and they all believed that he was the one who sired Ricky and not Ray. But also revealed is, another side note, is that Ray is also not Ricky's dad, so we are left completely not knowing who his real biological father is. The tragic part of it is that Leahy had actually gotten very attached to Ricky's grandson, and believing that this child was family, and Ricky and his daughter was family, he basically used that to get himself cleaned up. And he even says later on, it's easy to quit drinking when you're quitting for somebody else, for somebody else's sake. And he, got himself cleaned up and was turned over a new leaf. Like, he was a genuinely changed man, and wanted to just help out Ricky and just do right by him and try to be, the father that he believed the father that he believed he should have been, even though he wasn't really his father. But then once, of course, Julian breaks that news, he goes complete downward spiral, and the best, I forgot who it was who wrote it, but they said he eventually goes so hard on the liquor, he ends the season as basically a liquor evangelist. No joke. Like, he's in jail, sober at the end of the season, still going on about how the liquor guides him, the liquor still speaks to him. And that should be very interesting coming up in the next season. I'm looking forward to seeing how they pull that off. It should be a very, very entertaining season. I was laughing my ass off this entire season 11. The storytelling was great. I thought they did a fantastic job of explaining the departures of Lucy and J-Rock, especially in a way that also keeps the door open for them to come back if they ever decide to. I thought some of the characters they elevated did a fantastic job, especially T, who I think they had been grooming to kind of take over for J-Rock for a while. Reggie, Ricky's buddy, who runs the scrapyard, was absolutely hysterical this season. What else was there? And it's nice to see things like come full circle too, like a lot of past references this season to like past stuff this season. Like another one they did. They revisited the relationship between Randy and Ted. Of course, this time Randy was using that to blackmail Ted into getting him into the police academy. What else was there? Oh, then we had later on Randy and Leahy drunk, pretending to be real police officers, like they did in Season 3. What else? I mean, nothing I can think of off the top of my head, but it just felt like they, kind of went back to the basics and what it was that made them, funny and entertaining in the first place, and I think that's kind of a good direction for them to stick in. The WWE, man, what's going on with them? It just felt like there were a few times as like you could see some rays of hope, but every time they just shut it off. Shut it down, shut it down, shut it down. And the problem is they keep listening to the echo chamber that is the IWC and not realizing that they can't figure out that the product, this bad product that they're putting out. Okay, I shouldn't say bad. It's something that I personally don't like, and I know understand other people like it. That's fine. That's cool, but they have to understand that this type of product is not a draw with the casual audience. And the problem is they don't care about that. They want what they want, and it's going to kill the wrestling business unless somebody can step up and fill that void that WWE is left behind by basically converting themselves into a niche wrestling product instead of a more mainstream accepted, up to speed with today's TV product. But besides that, there are still a few glimmers of hope in there. I just really hope that they stick with it. The Broken Hardys, man, I just hope that they keep their hands off of them and let Matt and Jeff do their thing. If they do end up going that direction. Finn and Bray Wyatt, I actually wrote a couple columns here explaining how I would have booked Finn. And this seems like it could be going in that sort of direction, kind of going a supernatural way, which is where, in my opinion, I think they need to go with it. I mean, make the demon mean something rather than just something cool he does for pay-per-views. Like, make it something, make it mean something, explain why it's so special, make stories around that. Like Jack Gallagher, why are they not playing up his MMA record? Why are they not playing up the guy can actually beat somebody's ass legitimately? That would get him more over than just the stuff with the umbrella, and that's enough. I mean, the dude's trying, but if the WWE would get behind him, he'd be so much better off. He could be the cruiserweight champ right now and be believable if they actually put the effort into him that he's putting into himself. But again, until somebody comes and kicks him in the ass, there's going to be, content and, what's the word? Not content, not just content, but complacent. Going to be complacent until somebody comes along and threatens their existence. But anyway, that is the first episode of AlternaTV. I thank you all for watching. I'll be filming a new episode next week. Catch you guys later. Peace out.
How about you get off the fucking channel then, you stupid fucking creature? Fuck your mother, you piece of shit.
What the fuck are you doing, dude?
And no one fucking says anything? Guess what? Right. Super fucking ugly show's here to fucking say it, motherfuckers. So eat my fucking dicks, you cunts.
What he's doing? Really?
Fucking full of shit, you fucking snake oil salesman, you fucking peddler.
Well, this show tonight, it's all about kittens. Look at this nice little kitten I got.
Get a fucking life, bro. Every fucking show I hear you calling in. Don't you have shit to fucking do? Like, what do you fucking do with yourself? You fucking loser. Fucking commenters, always telling people how to do their fucking jobs. We know how to do our jobs. That's why you're fucking watching. Because we know what we're doing. If we didn't, then we wouldn't be fucking doing it and you wouldn't be fucking watching. Cool 9 Inch Nails poster, bro. Too bad we can't see the fucking hole in your ceiling. And where's that fucking TV from? What fucking garage sale you get that shit from?
Oh my god.
It's the joke thief. It's Daniel. Oh man. Oh man. Now you know why we're fucking super ugly show, motherfuckers. This is why.
What's up, everyone? This is Sharia. You can catch my Impact Wrestling reviews every week on the brand, and you don't want to miss them.
This is Vince Russo's The Brand.